Sunday, July 10th. To the Promised Land via a dead end. Exodus 14:10 says, "And when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. So they were very afraid, and the children of Israel cried out to the Lord." Have you ever been set up, led into a trap or to a dead end? Sometimes it can be nice, like walking unexpectedly into a room of waiting friends who all shout, "Surprise! Happy birthday!" At other times it can be quite a shock, even a very unpleasant one. It may have been bullies when you were at school or at work, colleagues who unexpectedly try to make you look bad. From the day the Israelites left Egypt to the day they reached the Promised Land, the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so that they could travel by day or night. Every part of their journey was led by God Himself. But look at where He led them. First, to a place where the sea was before them, mountains were on either side, and Pharaoh's army was within eyesight right behind. Read Exodus 14. Why did God bring the Israelites to a place where He knew they would be terrified? Following the pillar doesn't assure us of constant happiness. It also can be a hard experience because training in righteousness takes us to places that test our hearts, which are so naturally deceitful. Jeremiah 17:9. During these difficulties, the key to knowing when we are truly following God is not necessarily the absence of trials or pain, but rather an openness to God's instruction and a continual submission of our minds and hearts to His leading. What lesson did the Israelites learn from this experience? Exodus 14:31 says, "And the Israelites saw the great power the Lord displayed against the Egyptians. The people feared the Lord and put their trust in Him and in Moses, His servant." Why is trusting God sometimes so hard, even though we may know many of the wonderful promises He has for us? Recount a difficult situation you believe the Lord led you into in order to teach you to believe in and to fear Him. From the book Spiritual Gifts, Volume 3, page 249 and 250, it says, "The children of Israel seemed to possess an evil heart of unbelief. They were unwilling to endure hardships in the wilderness. When they met with difficulties in the way, they would regard them as impossibilities. Their confidence in God would fail, and they could see nothing before them but death. The Lord was willing that they should be brought short in their food, and that they should meet with difficulties, that their heart should turn to Him who had hitherto helped them, that they might believe in Him. He was ready to be to them a present help. If in their want they would call upon Him, He would manifest to them tokens of His love and continual care. But they seemed to be unwilling to trust the Lord any farther than they could witness before their eyes the continual evidences of His power. If they had possessed true faith and a firm confidence in God, inconveniences and obstacles, or even real suffering, would have been cheerfully borne, after the Lord had wrought in such a wonderful manner for their deliverance from servitude. Moreover, the Lord promised them, if they would obey His commandments, no disease should rest upon them, for He says, "I am the Lord that healeth thee." from the book Letter 342, September 2, 1907. It says, "The history of the Old Testament was recorded for their benefit, and for the benefit of those who should live in the generations to follow. Both Old and New Testament scriptures teach the principles of obedience to the commandments of God as the terms of securing that life which measures with the life of God. For it is through obedience that we become partakers of the divine nature, and learn to escape the corruptions that are in the world through lust. Therefore its maxims are to be studied, its commands obeyed, its principles, which are more precious than gold, brought into the daily life." God bless.